Let's now tell you what else made news around the world. Time for Gravitas Global Headlines.
Parliament ratifies Finland's NATO membership. NATO chief welcomes the ratification that will make Finland the 31st member of the world's most powerful military bloc. Japan unveils planned control exports on 23 items used to make semiconductors, following US pressure for countries to restrict Chinese access to the technology. The Philippines and the US carry out their biggest ever joint military drills in the annual war games, highlighting improving ties with the Western power under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. As the protests over pension reforms in France continue, the police fired tear gas as thousands marched in the streets of a western French city. The protesters marched to denounce excessive use of force by police in the country's recent wave of protests. Riot police fired tear gas to disperse the tense crowd of around 2,000 at the demonstration, which comes after clashes between police and water reservoir protesters in nearby Saint-Soline. More than 100 wildfires broke out in Spain's northern Asturias region. Authorities say most of them started on purpose by arsonists and others, as temperatures soared to record highs. President Joe Biden recently declined to comment on the indictment of his predecessor, Donald Trump, who became the first former U.S. leader to face criminal charges. Thousands of Israelis rally in support of Prime Minister Netanyahu's judicial overhaul plan. It's the first major rally backing the controversial reforms after months of anti-government protests. United States claims Russia is actively seeking more weapons from North Korea in exchange for food aid. The Treasury Department imposes sanctions on a Slovakian man for allegedly brokering deals between Moscow and Pyongyang. Former Paralympian Oscar Pistorius has been denied early release after the parole board deemed he hasn't served enough time. The Blade runner, who was jailed in 2016 for killing girlfriend Riva Steenkamp, will now have to reapply for his parole in August 2024. Wimbledon is all set to allow Russian and Belarusian players to compete at this year's tournament if they agree to play as neutral athletes. The grass court major was stripped of ranking points by both the ATP and WTA tours last year.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.